Hey Aquarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. So we take what works, we leave what doesn't. We don't try to make anything fit that doesn't really fit. You'll know. We're going to start off with an intuitive vibe here with the Oracle decks. And then we're going to move to the Muse Tarot for a more traditional spread. And I just want to say that over the next little bit, I don't know what exactly, but I'm going to be just going at a little bit of a slower pace. That's what my life is asking me to do right now. So I'm going to roll these out. I won't be getting 12 done a week, which is kind of quite a pace, especially for a reader that's got like other jobs and stuff like that. It's a good pace. I love doing them, but we're just going to slow it down until the end of the year, I think. So do not be alarmed. It's good. All right. What do we have for Aquarius this week? All right. Okay, wanting to share something. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about the sharing. My home is my castle. So sharing some sort of intimate part of yourself, some sort of, that sounded, well, maybe so, right? But some sort of dream that you have, some sort of idea you have. So you've got this whole backlog of things you could share with the world. And here's a little test balloon right here. What about this? What if I shared this? So this is like, as I've said before, the wanting to share a work of art, wanting to put out a little feelers about how this is going to be received, what's going to happen here. So there's like some big idea you have or big dream you have. And this is just like a little taste of that. What do you think about that, world? What do you think about that dream? And then we're actually going to move right to here. Have faith in your dreams, because that did seem like a dream to me this time that you want to communicate about or sort of do a little test run on or something like that. Waxing crescent moon, have faith in your dreams. So something very beautiful. But it's just at the beginning. It's not like, it's more than just a vision, but it's just a sliver of what's to come. Just a little sliver of what's to come, which is what I'm getting from these two cards together. A little sliver of a dream coming true or being communicated. Just a little test, a little taste of something coming up here. And then we have soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So I love this because just the idea of teams and mutual support and people supporting each other, I think it's very beautiful. So this is reaching out for that support. It may just be one other person whose support that you really need right now, but this is a deep emotional connection, building that connection, calling in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So getting that support. There are people that love to support. If you don't, I think the first step to finding that support is to believe that it can exist for you, and that there are people that really are eager and happy to support them, and it brings them support you, and it brings them great joy to support you, just as I'm sure it brings you great joy to support your loved ones and help them feel good about themselves and their lives and where they're at and the risks that they take and the dreams that they have. So the soul family, you don't have to do it alone, finding support. And this could be, at first I saw these two as together too, right? Because this is a clear sharing, like she's clearly wanting to share something. And this is that sharing happening here. And we have Jack coming in here, my Captain Jack. Aquarius, have you met Captain Jack yet? You were really meeting Captain Jack in all his glory. Jack, he is large. Okay, a personal issue reaches resolution. So there's some kind of full moon in Cancer, some sort of emotional issue or something. It's finally, maybe it's this thing, it's finally discussed, it's finally shared, it's finally, something happens, something's resolved, something comes to, I wouldn't say an end, but there's some sort of settling in. I don't even really, there's some sort of resolved. Like, what does that even mean, to resolve something? So if there's been some sort of question here, I would suspect that there will be an answer about some sort of emotional issue or emotional connection. Again, we've got a lot of, with this soul family here in the water here, I think that there's some sort of emotional connection that's going to get some sort of solidification here, or some sort of understanding is going to be reached, or, you know, maybe you share something and there's clarity around that, around the way other people respond to it, or what the response is going to be, because clearly you've been building a whole castle in your mind right here. So you may have hesitated to share something, and sharing it now, you'll know now, you know, what the response is going to be, or what the, okay, Jack, I really do need some space to work. Okay, he's a little feral. I mean, not, he's house trained, but I don't, dude. All right. But he kind of does what he wants. A little barn cat that found me. I think he realized he was either going to have to find a home, or he wasn't going to exist anymore. So, you know, he was like a snake, like its fall, and he was like trying to get inside. Okay. Actually perched himself in the tree right outside my kitchen window. So I saw him every day for a week, and finally was like, oh, fine. I wasn't like, ugh. I was like, really? Is that one mine? Okay. All right, Aquarius. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Okie dokie. I like this. This is actually a really beautiful reading. For the most part. For the most part. Okay, in your recent past we have 8 of inspiration. This is our 8 of swords. Communication, charging forward, something moving forward pretty fast. Maybe some fast moving communication came in, which is beautiful because we're talking about communication here and we're talking about connection here. So fast moving communication may have been in your recent past, coming forward, moving forward. I love this. I love this image because it just really encapsulates the charging forward of communication. We're just moving. This is just moving. We've got our Tina Turner legs powerfully moving something forward through communication and possibly even physical movement sometimes. I tend to see 8 of inspiration more as communication, but I think that there is a way. I think that this can also be, well, right now, today, I'm seeing possible actual movement forward with something, maybe movement talking about going somewhere, talking about doing something. And then in your current situation, we have Queen of Materials. So we are really focused on where we want to go. What's our vision? This depicts the queen here, and here's what the book describes as her movie poster about where she's going, her dreams, her career, being very focused on where you're going, what you're manifesting, what you're bringing, and being a little bit bold about it. The Queen of Pentacles, the Pentacles is such a slow-moving, methodical suit. And so the queen, though, she's very focused on her path, on where she's going, on what she wants out of this, on what her next steps are. She's very focused on that and making something happen in reality. And she's got, the deck is very slow moving, very methodical. And I wouldn't say she's fast moving, but she's bold and she's got some big dreams for herself. And she's very focused on where she's going. And so this is your energy right now, or this maybe is somebody you know right now, but because it is a court card. So it could just be somebody, it could be somebody in your life, but I think it's you. That was my first impression here, of just really thinking about where you want to go, really dreaming big. And maybe some of this communication has been about this dream, this idea, oh, look, Oh, look, you're communicating about this big ass dream you have here. This is your movie poster, and here you are making a little move towards that. In your inner landscape, your hopes, your fears, you have this Hermit card. So you may be afraid of going alone because it is hopes and fears. You may be afraid of having to do things alone. You may also be really looking for that inner guidance. Like, you want to make something happen, but what's your next step? Well, your next step is getting connected here. So you may be really longing to, you may be longing to have some time alone, or you may be longing to just really connect with your inner light, hear and feel the next steps. What do I do now? What's the next? How do I move this forward? Or you could be worried about doing it alone. And I normally don't get that with the Hermit in the inner landscape, because the Hermit is basically the inner landscape card. It is that. It's also the Virgo card, so you could have some sort of connection with a Virgo, hopes or fears around that. Possibly, I don't usually call out I don't usually. I like that these cards are just their own thing, and but that occurred to me right now. I saw that, so that might be important for a couple of you. So soul family, calling in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. And so I'm seeing this within this Hermit card in your hopes and fears. Are you going to have to do something alone? And this is saying you don't have to, but you might be worried about it. You might be worried about just have it. I mean, your own inner guidance, you may be wanting to sort of connect with somebody else for some support on that. Okay, I'm feeling like I need to do this. What do you think? We don't want to give that power away to other people, but also, we all need support in a soul family here. So there could be some worries or concerns about having to go it alone, or feeling like you're alone in this. And that you're just going to have to, that the path that you're on is pretty solitary. So you could be hoping for that, but also there's a sense of inner guidance, right? Because it's a Hermit card. It's about our inner guidance system. We can get glimpses pretty far out sometimes, but it tends to be more of like what do you want to do now? Martha Beck has a great book called Following Your Own North Star. And there's another one, Boyd, something about the Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. And it's all about that stuff. It is basically about the path of the hermit, of just following that path step by step to where you need to be. What we have going on what's going on, I want to say what's an issue. But this doesn't seem like an issue, but I guess it could be, because it's a gear shift. It's a shift here. We have the Hanged Man reverse, so coming out of stasis. So this is going from sort of the dream to bringing something into reality. We have the dream bringing it into reality. So there's been a lot of, and maybe you're worried that you're just going to sit here dreaming and visioning and nothing's ever going to come into reality. This is movement now. Finally, the Hanged Man is starting to move. There's been a lot of internal work that's had to be done, and that internal work, we have to believe that does affect the way we interact with other people, the way we interact with opportunities around us, the way we come to the world. So that inner world has changed, and it's starting to affect and move things in the outer world here. So this could be a disconcerting gear change, especially if you're sort of used to just dreaming and not having things come to fruition, not having things actually. If you're just more of a dreamer here out in the hermit, visioning by yourself here, this could be a little disconcerting, a little bit of a gear shift for your identity. Oh my gosh, that's really funny. I put this, it's not really funny. It's funny up here. This could be a little bit of a gear shift of, and a shifting identity from being, just held in stasis to actual movement. That could be a little bit disconcerting. And I guess I want to say the disconcertingness of having things move that haven't moved. Like there's just a lot of dreaming here, and not a lot of movement forward, because we have a lot of things referencing a dream, a vision, an idea, and then the hanged muse coming out of, or the hanged man or whatever, coming out of that stasis. It's gonna, I mean, like, how do you get out of this stasis? Like, there's gonna be like a plummet. Like, I've never seen a hanged man that's not gonna at some point have some sort of really messed up situation. What was it? It was the Last Kingdom, and they were all hanging upside down. And it's really hard when you're hanging upside down to free yourself, because you know, you got a plummet on your little head there or something like that. So it's a little bit of a jolt out of that hanging out position into more movement. Here in your environment, we have 10 of voices. We have a very painful thing actually coming to an end here. And it could be painful thoughts, painful ideas, painful words. But I love the 10 of voices because it's the final, it's the end. It's your finals. You're going through your finals right now here of a very painful process. You've been pierced through and through. There's not much more damage that can be done here. Perhaps in this hanged man situation hanging out here, you've had a lot of doubts, a lot of self-doubts. Maybe you've had people introducing those doubts, but the 10 of voices this is the last. There's no more. This is a harsh place that you've been in. There's been some cruelty, so much difficulty, so much pain, and it's pierced you very deeply. And there's something here that's coming to an end that way, this painful thing. This could be, because the 10 is the completion, we do have also a personal issue reaches resolution. So there's a completion here, an ending of a painful place, and maybe this painful place was having no movement and was having to sit here with a vision that's not moving forward, that you weren't able to move forward. Maybe it was, maybe this very painful place was a lot of isolation and a lot of not being able to being almost trapped here in vision mode and not having any movement forward. There's been some communication now, and then it's coming to an end. So something in your environment, some painful sort of situation in your environment is ending here. Then we have 8 of materials. Fascinating. As your to-do list. This is work. Get to work. Communicating about work. This is, so the materials are all, we have the Queen of Materials. So we have this big dream up here, right, in the current situation. And then right underneath it sits this 8 of materials. So we have like 3 materials here, all about manifesting something, bringing something into reality. We have this about bringing a dream to reality. And we have this about dreams. So we've got a lot. And then with the reverse hanged muse is about a sort of a mental state starting to be able to show up in reality, and starting to the things you've figured out mentally and internally starting to show up in your actual life. So and then we have this 8 of materials. This is work that's very, oh my gosh. This deck throws me sometimes, like the images, I don't understand them sometimes. I mean, I do, but I don't. What's coming in here? Focus on work. There's a lot going on here, a lot to be managed, but there needs to be some joy in managing this. This is about manifestation, of course, because we're in the materials, but this is sort of the work part of manifestation, the sort of like very focused, very absorbed in the day-to-day operations. There's something that you're bringing part of yourself into your work here. What's interesting is we have the 8. Yeah, this is just really focused on work. just really focused on your work. And there's a physicality here too. And then we have the 8 arms, the Hindu gods with the 8 arms, but each hand, instead of having something different or a different focus, has the singular focus of the rose, of building that, of bringing that vision to reality. And there's a lot, so your job is to focus on your work, focus on working on something. I mean, you have this big dream, it's starting to move forward, and you really need to focus right now on your to-do list, is focusing on working. Like, I almost see like a to-do list. It's all just roses, to-do list, 1, rose, check, rose, 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 rose. So just growing something, building something, being very focused. There can be a little bit of a repetition here, some repetitive work, but that's part of, you know, the wax on, wax off situation of developing our abilities, our actual work abilities, and the muscle memories and all of that go into being able to do a good job. So getting very familiar with your work, bringing part of who you are into your work, and it's work that's very engaging, absorbing, and part of who you are. So get to work. And then where you're going is page of materials. More visioning of the page is learning. The page is learning how to manifest something, learning how to bring something into reality. And we just have more of the same. This whole reading is basically about dreaming, and how you're going to bring it to reality. Dream, and how you're going to bring it to reality. Dream, maybe that's the repetitive thing that you're doing here. The repetitive work is that dreaming, bringing it into reality. Dreaming, bringing it into reality. But continued dreaming, visioning, continued understanding. Our pages are learning, and learning about how to bring something, how to make something happen, how to do something, and this is all about physicality, right? Because we've got the material. So learning how to work with our material world. So we're leaving a dream state and sort of waking up into, okay, so now how do I make this happen? So just focusing on the work at hand right now, and then there will be continued dreaming in the future. Continued visioning, continued understanding in the future too. We're not stopping the dreaming. We're just, there's just a part of it. There's just a part of it that's coming into reality. And then we almost go back to, I wouldn't say the Hermit and the Hanged Man, but we do. The two start combining a little more, because it looks like there's just been a dream state here. Now we're at the end of the painful like stasis, and then now we're coming into more of a being able to toggle between the dream and the reality, and dreaming, thinking of something, making it real, thinking of something and making it real. I think that's where I'm getting the repetitive nature of this. So some topsy-turvy energy here. Grace within reach. It's okay to feel like a mess right now, to feel like you need help, and to want to resolve whatever has troubled your heart or mind. My grace is within reach. As you ask for my help, I shall lift you into safety and peace now. So finding some peace as we're shifting gears here. All right, Aquarius, hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and I hope you have, I don't know, a nice week or two until I get to your next reading.